Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube viewers. Good morning to Facebook Nation. Good morning to all people, all races, all colors around the world. Good morning to everyone. Beautiful day. Every day is beautiful. It's people. Always remember. So before we start, click like, subscribe. Also, happy that everybody is out there that's healthy and safe. Condolences also to the people in Indianapolis, as well as to the viewers that, we've been discussing this for like almost over a year now, that we saw this all, taking place. And that's one of the ways that we understood why these things are happening, is because we came into the realization of ourselves. We awoke. And that's what today's video is about. Because a lot of people go through life and, we think that, some people think they have all the answers. And today's topic will discuss that. It's that I'm just too smart for that. Excuse me. So, in parentheses it says think again. We have to think again, because we can look at this in many different ways. A lot of us go through life and we see, we'll join in and say, hey, let's run this game on, well, we'll use the right word, we'll run this manipulation on this other person, but it can't happen to me. And we really believe that, even though we know that's not to be true. And again, when you come into the realization of yourself, you understand that you deal with things as they are. And when we play these mental mind games with ourselves, then we're open to anything. We're open to anything and everything. We already are, but we have a better handle. Whereas if something does arise, the stress, it doesn't hit us as hard, or the depression doesn't hit you as hard. You understand why things are happening. So understanding why things are happening makes you a lot stronger. So now to get back on topic, I'm just too smart for that. In order to understand how manipulation, how we start, how did outside influence start this manipulative mind game, I want to go to a clear point that everyone should, at least my age, should understand. So that's where, because we're that generation that counts, and we have to remember that we're the generation that is going to make the difference between today and tomorrow. So I want to start with plastic bags. When we go back and we think about when plastic bags were first coming out, they used the excuse, it's going to save the trees. And then you had people from the wildlife and nature organizations coming out, actors, actresses, sports figures, anyone that they could, to promote, hey, we're saving the trees, we're saving the trees. And it's cheap. So we can literally give the plastic away, because most of it is made out of recycled material anyway, meaning you and I, the consumer, already paid for that bag that's being recycled and being sold over to you again, 10 cents, 10 cents, 10 cents, some 25 cents, and it can go up and up. And you have to say to yourself, yeah, they really did outsmart me, because we agreed for something back then to be free, and now we're being charged for it for something that is free. So think again. Now we're going to go to, let's go to the housing market. I did a video on this a couple of weeks ago, and I spoke about, where we sit back and we want to hate one another, and we want to throw all of our stuff out there towards one another, when there's something outside of us that is doing all this to us. Now, we can go back to when I had made the comment about, the fair housing and how they receive so much money. It's almost like with all these pharmaceutical companies. Remember that speech, clear as day. We're giving them billions, we're giving them millions, we're giving them trillions of dollars to come up with a solution so that we can charge you for it, tax you for it. But the word free, make available free for all. So again, you see, as long as we play these mind games, we'll all be continue to be played in our lives. So remember that whole process. It was there for everyone to see. So to get back to fair housing got so much money, but I want to give you the reality, because what I was saying back then is actually now the Wall Street Journal just came out with an article saying exactly what I have been saying for the longest time. When we as young, or when young couples are growing up, they put away, it's 20% if you fall into low income and middle income families. So you don't have it to just go out. Your credit is not the best that you can go out and just purchase a home. So now they say, well, just come up with 20%. 20% of the home. Hey, we can do that. And then it's an investment. So then once our children are out of college, once everybody's out of the house, we sell the house, we get our return back. We're living the American dream. And I'm here to tell you the same thing as what the Wall Street Journal is telling you, but I've been saying this before this, is that what you face now when you go for a house with your 20% deposit, you go up and you're bidding on a house, and then they say, well, we got a higher bid or we got a different bid. What they are not saying to you is that the reason that they're requiring higher bids from you, and the price on the home itself has gone up above market and what it should be, is because who you're bidding for is a multi-billion-dollar LLC, a company that they deal in these investments. So you're going up against millionaires and billionaires, and you don't even know it, for a house that probably costs 150,000, 170,000, and you're bidding against billionaires, and this is not what the real estate company is telling you. So how's that dream working out for you, while we continue to sit around and hate one another and throw slurs at one another and think about ways to dislike one another? Look at who's really getting rich, and look who's really getting wealthy, while they're laughing at us, all of us, because we think we're just too smart, and we're finding out, no, we're not. So now let's get away from that. But since we're on housing, most of you out there that are watching, you own your own home or you rent, but how many of you have cameras? And cameras are all over. There are so many different houses and properties that they're everywhere. And what I want to point out is what I've been saying to you. Now we're going to hear it from, I don't know the man's name specifically. I only know what he said. So it was an FBI agent, and he was speaking to someone on The Fan, on a New York radio talk show on Sunday morning. As a matter of fact, this past Sunday morning, and he was explaining about surveillance and the benefits of it. So the radio announcer says, well, don't you consider that like, most people consider that like an invasion of privacy? Now this agent, this is what his response was. Home surveillance broke record numbers last year and is breaking numbers even today. Most people have cameras set up with high definition all over their properties, all over their properties. Some even, way away from their property, but it's on their property. So it's almost like having a good neighbor. So forget about what he said about the cameras, and I'll show you how truth is mixed in with lies. It is true that cameras protect you, but what the lie about it is at one time there was the good neighbor. There were community block watches. There were people in the community that were involved, and these are the things that are being snatched out and replaced with AI, with artificial intelligence, artificial good neighbors, just like where it comes to factories, where it becomes the artificial instead of the good employee, it becomes the good artificial employee. So when we think we're too smart, we got to think that over again. So remember, good neighbors were replaced with machines. That's cowardice. To me it is cowardice. So Now, let's go into sports, or let's just go into, even the workplace. The workplace will say, okay, we'll give you an award, you're the exceptional employee, you've gone above and beyond the call, so we, put you on this pedestal, here's your gift, we're promoting you, this is our thanks, this is our gratitude because you make us money. Now, that's on a job. Now in sports, they say, hey, you won us a championship, and together, you guys, you're the best of the best, and we just want to raise you above. Here you go, take your trophy, take your money, take everything. Now, when it comes to life, okay, we'll use one more, relationships. Oh, you guys, in relationship, is anniversary. Oh, you made 5 years. Oh, it's our anniversary, let's celebrate it. Now we made 10 years. Oh, let's celebrate it, let's renew our vows. Okay, so there's a reward that comes with that also. So now, when we look at where we are today, that we have to have a reward for everything that it is that we do. What I want to point out is, in each one of those categories I just spoke about, name whoever was rewarded for being the healthiest employee. The employee who never missed a day or anything like that, that they get the promotion. They get the top of the top because they've proven that they're healthy, that they've proven beyond doubt that they come in, they do their job, they've been loyal to the job, but yet and still there's no reward for it, as is if I make a part, or I come up with a solution to make the company more money. That person will get more than a person who's actually there every day making that company money without fail. And then in sports, the healthiest player. To me, the championship, the true player is the most healthiest player, the player who comes in and plays every game, and not saying that they play through injury, but they care about themselves enough that they try to remain as healthy as they can. And there's no reward for it. So that tells us how, in a way, our thinking is that, when we, something sounds good to us, then we follow it, and then a year later, 10 years later, it changes. And then we never turn back to say, wait a minute, the only reason we're here is because of what you said 10 years ago. You put a price on that, then that stops right then and there. This is something that needs to be discussed. And then again, if we look at it in a political sense, how many politicians are coming out of the woodwork to say, hey, wait a minute, this is not what the original agreement was for. And in fact, what they are doing is changing. And you'll see that wherever it comes to a country where there's politicians that are getting money and are getting paid from it, doesn't matter Republican, and a good one to watch right now is Afghanistan. Because remember, what's important about Afghanistan and pulling out of Afghanistan is because Democratic investors as well as Republican investors have big money in that country. So you're going to watch fighting. And when you watch this fighting, realize and think again that, they're not even doing anything for us. But the one that I want to leave you with, because I want everyone to get on and have a good day, and is George Floyd. I talked about this a few days ago, but I haven't been following it because I already know. You got to go to my video where I talk about scripts, where they put out all these different scripts, and what you're going to get ready to see within the next couple of days is you're going to see actors, actresses, sports figures. You're going to see all these different civil rights leaders, or so-called civil rights leaders, coming out of the woodwork to sell us all a script. They don't come out of the woodwork to sell us a script if there's nothing to sell a script to. So what we are going to be faced with is a huge disappointment on all sides, because nobody is going to be happy with what the judgment that comes out of this case. But it will show you that we are being played as stupid individuals. And when we feel that, again, to go back to the beginning, when we feel that we can run manipulation on an unsuspecting person, but it can't happen to us. It's happening to us on a large scale. So while we continue to fight, bicker, and be jealous of one another and not try to work together, these are the things that we'll be faced with. Almost like living in that house but you can't move into it. Almost like getting that new car but you can't drive it. Almost like getting $1 million and you can't spend it. So when you think that you know it all, think again. And that's what we do here. We think about everything because we want to be one step up to make our lives, as well as the lives of the people around us, much better in order to make the world a better place. So with that, everyone, have a beautiful day. It is beautiful out. Every day is a beautiful day. Hope it's beautiful where you are. And with that, everyone, have an awesome day. Peace and blessings.